Today I'm going to show you how you can turn this dent that we have in this plastic bumper cover into this. And all of that in half an hour of work. Hey, how's it going, do-it-yourselfers? That's right, today I'm going to show you how you can remove this dent out of this plastic bumper cover. Now, as you can see, it's not the biggest or the worst dent that you've ever seen on a plastic bumper cover, but we'll remove this and also give you some tips and tricks on how you can remove more severe cases as well. Tools you need to do this is going to be a heat gun or a heavy-duty blow dryer, or an ability to heat up water, access to the rear of the bumper cover where the dent is, and also maybe a piece of wood like the handle on this mallet, or even the plastic handle on this long pry bar will work as well. Alright, so first up, gaining access to behind the bumper cover where the dent is. Now on this one, it's pretty easy. Generally speaking, it's going to be easy for you to gain access to behind the bumper cover. You usually have to remove some splash shields and then you can get there, but sometimes depending on where the dent is, there's no choice and you have to remove the bumper cover to gain access. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that if you're working on a car where removing the bumper cover is going to take you an hour or two, then putting it back on, fixing it is going to take another hour or two, you might want to look into buying a paintless dent removal tool. Those tools will allow you to pull the dents out without removing the bumper cover, of course. You can also use those tools to pull dents out of the body panels as well. But if your only concern is the dents in your bumper cover, the odds are good you can gain access to where the dents are and use the techniques we're going to show you in this video to push the dents out. So yeah, like I said, you usually have to remove some splash shields. On this one, we just had to remove this splash shield right here. And if you go down and under, you can see the dent right here. This is where the dent is. Next, you want to grab your heat gun or blow dryer and heat up exactly, not on the edges, but just around the edges, like this area here, this area here, this area here, and then on the outside, maybe this area like here, this area here. You don't want to heat up the edge because, as you may be able to tell, due to the dent, we have the paint cracking in these areas. As this dent gets pushed in, these edges get stretched, the paint gets cracked, and it's greatly weakened all around the edges. And you go and heat up this edge, you can, do more damage to the paint. So yeah, by heating these areas here, these areas will also warm up, but you're not applying direct heat and damaging the paint further. So just heat up here, this area, and just this area on the outside. And you want to move frequently. You don't want to stay in one place and heat up these areas too much either. Now, you can do the same thing with water, but I don't suggest you use boiling water because water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's a good chance if you go and pour that on your panel, it's going to damage the paint, at the very least weaken the clear coat on the areas where you pour the boiling water. Especially if you were to do this on a cold day, because the paint compared to the plastic bumper cover is going to expand and contract differently. And if it's a cold day outside, you go and pour super hot water on this paint, the paint might stretch way faster than the plastic bumper cover and crack. So yeah, if you do decide to use warm water, just heat it up to about 150, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and you should be okay. Also try to avoid doing it on a cold day. All right, so let's get to it. First, I'm going to heat up this area like we talked about and push this part out, and then we'll go from there. As you can see, I'm not putting the blow dryer on the edge, but the edge is warming up. All right, so we got it about 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're gonna give it a go. So we'll get our pry bar in the back here. And we're gonna see, push it out. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So we have a body line right here. Now you guys may not be able to tell, but I was able to, this part looks pushed out pretty good, but this part is still a little low spot in there. I might heat that up more, push that out. Let's see if we can just, yes. Like I said, this is not the most difficult dent to get rid of, but there is uneven areas, so we need to go over it again. So yeah, as you can see, there's a high spot here, there's a low spot here, another low spot here. Let's get the low spot first, and since there's no edges around this low spot, we can just heat up the whole thing. I think we got that one to a great degree. Still a little bit of a low spot right there. Now we're gonna get this low spot here, this one right here, and then I'll show you how you can get rid of the high spot as well. Also, even though we don't have any sharp edges because we pulled most of the dent out, we still have these body lines, so we want to be careful with the blow dryer or a heat gun around those body lines as well. All right, so here's a look at what we have so far. We got most of the dent out, obviously. We got most of the low spots out as well. We do have this high spot right here that you guys can hopefully see. We do have a small high spot right here as well. Now, since these are pretty small, what we can do is just heat up this area and push this high spot in all the way. And then the problem is when you do that though, you're gonna push in all the surrounding areas in as well. But then we're gonna heat up the area once more and start pushing it out from just outside of where the high spots are, and then try to get it even out that way. All right, so after a few minutes, this smaller one we had here, we were able to get completely out. There's no evidence of that left. Also, the high spot we had here is pretty much completely out, but we do have low spots around where it was because we had to press in more area. So now we're gonna heat this up and push out the areas that was around the high spot. The high spot was exactly right here. You wanna avoid that exact spot because the high spot might reappear. So just push out the areas around it. All right, so here's a look at what we have right now. And as you can see, we made great improvement upon trying to remove and fix this dent and this bumper cover. And you can still sort of see the high spot right here. Now you can keep on doing what we just did to try to remove that even further. But another way that you can remove high spots like this, or like I said, if you were dealing with a more severe dent, is you use cold water or ice. So basically the idea is when you use heat from a heat gun or hot water, you soften the plastic, which allows you to push the dent out and try to get the bumper cover back to its original form. The problem is when you have a dent, especially a hard, more severe dent, is that all around the edges of the dent, that area of the plastic has stretched. Now you heat up the plastic and push the dent out, you're still not getting rid of those stretched areas of the plastic. But if you were to use cold water or ice in those areas to contract the plastic, both the areas that were stretched due to the dent and the areas that you just stretched a little bit by pushing the dent out will contract at the same time, and hopefully the areas that are already stretched around the edges will contract more, giving you a more even finish on your bumper. The thing is, you don't heat up the bumper and then throw cold water on your bumper. You'll do damage to the paint, much like heating up the bumper or the paint in a cold day. So yeah, you heat it up first and then you push the dent out, and then you wait a little bit until everything cools down, and then you apply the cold water or ice if needed, and then hopefully that will help get the plastic to its original form. If not, then you keep on rinsing and repeating until you get the results you're happy with. And I'm happy with this results here on this old car. This little high spot is kind of showing because the camera is quite close. If you step back a few feet, you don't even see it. Now I know your next question is, hey, how do we paint a plastic bumper cover that's got scuff marks and scratches like we got here? Now this ain't no biggie, but I'm not gonna paint this one, but I'll show you how to paint the plastic bumper cover in this RS6. As you can see, it's quite scratched up and dinged up right towards the bottom. Oh yeah, can't wait to start working on this one. So yeah, if you wanna see that video or other videos like this, make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Hit that bell notification. Also check out my other videos in the suggestion box. Also links on this side of the screen and in the description box as well. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.